Honey? Ron, did you have rain last night?
What, do you know what you got at your home place?
My electronic gauge did 3.4.
We only got about half of it.
Really?
We heard in town it was way more than that.
I haven't checked my other gauge to see what it shows.
Is that at your home or at your old home place?
No, at my home. Where I live.
Oh, okay, that's possible. Town got more.
Yeah, Gracia had like 3.1.
We heard at field gauges in Lytton.
No, and I hadn't been over to the farm to check the gauge there.
It's pretty wet right around the,
It's wet everywhere. I mean, we needed the rain, but we needed to come in about an hour and a half.
hey, what's Manson, you know, they're farther north, they got a lot Saturday night probably?
I guess I hadn't heard any reports on what they'd gotten. A lot of that. But the National Weather Service looked like there was a band, sort of from Carbon area, sort of up the north and east, up towards the Manson area, they got the heaviest. Right through that. But,
There was an inch difference from, I had 4 or 6 or so where I live, and then where Brian and the home farm was only 3.5. So that there was an inch difference. Speaking to the water situation, the Lytton had a payloader in that ditch by the gas plant, and it was stuck. And they were in there digging with the bucket.
where's this at now?
Lytton.
Oh, north of it, yeah.
By the gas plant there. You know,
Okay.
they always pump out of the
Yeah.
ground, and I don't know what they were digging in the north ditch, but
Huh.
they were in there digging with payloader, and I suspect they were taking the back ridge off the ditch, so it goes across the gas plant property, I'm guessing. I don't know. Because it was already going there because of being pumped, and now
Hmm.
they're in there with propane.
Yeah, as far as road problems, we got an email from the state emergency management people, wanting an estimate. Mike, at this point, thought like $4,100 as far as road damage. I mean, had water across the road 3 or 4 spots, he thought, and there might have been another 20 where water gets on the edge of the road and then it can't get off and it runs down the road, especially on hilly areas, and so there's another 20 spots there that we're gonna need to blade up and put some material on. But overall, not too bad yet. If we get more rain on top of this, it'll really cause some issues. Anyway, county crews, edge running paved shoulders on M43, investigating a possible tile problem between section 13 Eureka and section 18 Eden, replacing damaged intakes of 290th Street west of Yankee Avenue, spraying trees in the right of way in Eden and Wall Lake Township, blading graveling roads in Eureka Township, finished contract graveling yesterday, repairing rain rutted roads from recent rains. Project status, Boy River Bridge, the I-beams were delivered last week. I think 2 of them came in on Thursday and 4 of them came in on Friday. Contractor's working on getting them set and attaching the cover plates and other work to get started on forming the deck. He hasn't given us a revised schedule yet, but I think at the meeting the other day, I think he was thinking, first part of August they'd be done with the bridge.
Sites and all.
Yeah, everything. And then he said, I can't remember for sure whether he gave us a very good, not sure he gave us a very good date, but Then on the White Topping project on D59, met with Cedar Valley on June 11th. Cedar Valley presented a new schedule to pave the first part of September, all depending on weather, of course. But the change order has been signed by us and the contractor and the DOT, changing the late start date from 6/23/14 to approximate start date of 8/25/14. We'll hold a pre-construction meeting sometime either the last week in July or first week in August. And we'll also get a meeting rescheduled with the residents and landowners down there when we're a little closer to when they're gonna start. We're probably also gonna maybe before that get together with the city and somebody from Cookies and somebody from Cook Siding and just discuss how much access they need and for what, whether it's trucks or semis or what they need to get in and out of there, what kind of issues might arise there. Item 3, got the plans to do the bridge approach out here on the Cedar. We're planning to have a local letting.
422 feet.
That's the total length, including the bridge. I got a sheet here marked up. We're gonna make a few changes on, but on the west side of the bridge, we're looking at replacing 140 feet, and then on the east side, 105 feet. And at one time, those were marked out there. You can see.
What'd you end up finding out about the extra lane on the side? Are you able to keep it or not keep it?
What we finally decided to do was, we didn't want to leave the existing shoulder there and have to try to meet that. So what we finally did was we're going to cut off 2 foot of that paved shoulder to allow them to set their forms and make sure they get the ride right, and then we'll fill that 2 feet back in.
Oh, so that's okay.
It just got to be such an issue trying to figure out the grade, and a lot of times they set their lines up and then those guys are good with their eyeball. They can, actually look at the little string line and say, oh, we need to tweak it a little bit here and there. And rather than try to meet that existing and have it create problems, we just decided to cut it out and pour it back in. So there's only...
I was just hoping that you didn't have to cut it all away.
No.
Eliminate it all.
No, we're gonna... And they need about 2 foot to set their forms and do the rest of the work under the paving, and so getting to thinking about it, it made sense to cut it out and then just pour it back in. There's only 65 feet on the east side that'll be affected, because the first 40 feet off the bridge gets full width, double reinforced, or first 20 feet double reinforced, second 20 feet single reinforced. Then on the other side, that pavement only ran up there another 55 feet, so it's not a big,
This
big item.
being at the bottom of the hill, it's nice, like for tractor traffic or something that's slow that they can kind of get off and makes it better.
But we're looking at having the local letting on the 10th in our office and setting up the late start and the working days to have it completed by October 1st. So we haven't put the numbers to that yet, but we'll get that done here in the next day or two. It's not a big project. I'm not sure we'll get a whole lot of people interested in doing it, but
It just depends how busy they are.
yeah. I mean, it's a job more for the patching type people that do the patching work, although there are, well, just like that Warrior Bridge, there is a contractor that sort of specializes in bridge approaches, so he might.
What's your guys' estimate of cost?
We haven't put an estimate together since we made those changes. Had programmed at 150, so I'm thinking we'll have an estimate put together before the letting, but I can give that to you next week. Item 4 there.
Did you want to approve those plans?
Guess we should do that.
So there's on it.
I'll make a motion to approve the plans.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the plans. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All ayes, motion carries. It doesn't?
Not really.
Any
This,
box, or we all three signing it,
Yeah,
or?
you can, why don't you do the top one?
We received funds when the transfer of jurisdiction happened to cover, hopefully cover the cost of this repair.
Yeah, no, I think, I have to look back now, I can't remember how many dollars we got. It was more than 150.
I was thinking it was like 167 or
70,
Yeah.
75, somewhere. This letter's basically the same thing I've done the last several years. I guess it's what I'd done was took the increase for Calvin and Sac and then averaged it. It comes up with an average number. I gave the same letter to Calvin this morning and told him that you guys need to talk to each other.
We put that up on the agenda for next week, or so, or just planning on doing it next week?
Yeah. If you want to talk to him before that, get your input. I need to get you guys a letter. Again, I guess I'm still thinking about trying to retire in the next year. I guess we need to maybe give you guys some information about, you know, what might be some alternatives as far as assistance. Again, we did the place down when he retired and passed away, and depending on what direction you guys want to go, whether, I think if you continue to share, we need to probably replace, and get an assistant to help. Anyway, I'll try to put a letter together to serve somewhere.
You said you're thinking about the next year. What are you, at the end of the next fiscal year, or what were you thinking, or what?
I think when I talked before, I talked about the end of this year, but I don't know.
Calendar year, you mean?
Calendar.
December 31st.
Yeah,
I see.
6 months. But I don't know, that's gonna get, I'd like to do that, but. Haven't been down with our neighbors or anybody yet.
And so if we don't hire a replacement, you'll just settle in on the job for a while?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna look for a shared engineer, it's probably something you need to start, you know, looking at and consider, you know, getting them on board at any time.
Yeah.
And we have budgeted in our local budget a replacement for Donnie for this coming year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I might throw some options together and get it.
What was his job title? Was it assistant?
He was assistant to the engineer. He was not an engineer. He basically been with the county and.
He just grew up with, he inspected bridges.
Yeah.
He-
I think he probably started out on the survey crew, I think. I guess I'm not sure where he actually started. That's right, you worked in
He
that.
graduated in 1964 and went to the Army for 2 years and came home and got a job with the county. So he'd been there.
A lot of counties, they've got, some counties have got assistants, engineers who are engineers that haven't got their license, or some maybe even have the license, or just, you know, fill that spot. Some counties have assistants to the engineers, but typically are not engineer graduates. They might have a 2-year program or a tech something, but just somebody that's had a lot of exposure to the processes and all the paperwork that needs to get done, and takes care of a lot of the paperwork, I guess. So, but, you got all over the board out there, some have a couple systems, some don't have any systems, so. That's I think Webster County's got 2 registered assistants. But
Did that Goings retire?
yes, Steve retired in March.
Did they replace him?
We did not. We promoted, Steve was acting as both the assistant to the engineer, and then he was also the maintenance superintendent. And so we split that job apart and hired the guy as our maintenance superintendent, and the assistant engineer type work is being handled by the 2 technicians over there and myself, so.
But Steve was a PE, wasn't he?
No,
Oh, I thought he
I think he just had a 2-year construction degree, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Who is your superintendent in county now?
BJ Musselman.
Oh, really? He advanced relatively quickly then?
Yeah, yeah.
That's Carrie, our case manager's husband, yeah. Yep,
He seemed to do a good job, and
good.
still a learning curve for both him and me, but things are going pretty well.
I have a question. The other day, last week or tomorrow, I was coming south of Pocahontas on Highway 4.
Okay.
Do they make a vacuum cleaner for rock? I think they were sucking rock out of the ditches.
I know,
If it works, it's not a bad idea. You know, in the wintertime, it's
All of the
snowing.
shoulder material.
I know they've got a machine that will suck, like some of these utility companies, when they're trying to locate a line that's there, they've got machines that'll blow enough air to disturb the soil, and then the vacuum that also sucks it up, so they don't actually dig with a shovel, so you don't damage the wire that's down there. I guess I've never seen them use that kind of to actually just.
It had a big long arm like that. I thought they were mowing the sides of the road bank at first when I was a long ways away. Got up close, the back of the truck was full of rock, and this thing was down on the flat part of the ditch. I'm sure it was like a vacuum cleaner, and it was blowing it right into the truck.
You think it'd suck up grass and dirt?
Yeah.
But it hadn't been mowed yet. It was just, the grass was really tall.
Huh.
A few pheasant eggs and.
Who knows what
Was
you
it
get?
like a box culvert or something?
No, they were going right down the edge of the road.
Huh.
You wouldn't want to get a 2-foot shiner.
Yeah. But it was the weirdest,
Big trouble.
big long arm, and it's
Yeah.
like you could reach down 20-some feet if you wanted
Huh.
to.
I guess I haven't seen.
I was just curious, because it looked weird to me, but
Huh.
the back of the truck was full of rock.
I'll have to ask.
Or,
How far south of Pocahontas was it?
oh, 10 miles.
So almost to Pomeroy then?
Mm-hmm.
It was on the highway?
It was right along the highway, and they had a truck behind them, said 1-lane traffic
So
ahead
it
or
would have been
whatever.
a state.
Maybe they tipped a semi over and there's a big bunch of it over
But it was a state truck. I mean, it was a orange state truck, and
The one with the boom on it was?
Mhm.
And it wasn't sitting,
It was moving. They were moving.
Never heard of it.
Never seen one of those. Looks like that rock you off the harder on your blower.
Yeah.
there. You going down the bridge this week?
I might, I don't know, I didn't say.
There's Crisco's.
Ronnie's down there every day.
Ronnie's down there.
Yeah. Watch what they're doing and.
So they get the
answer
beam set
questions.
on the temporary things or whatever, then they can start forming the concrete.
Forming up they've got those cover plates, I don't know how soon, they hire a certified welder to come in and weld them to the bottom of the existing beams.
Yeah.
And they also weld on
Oh,
top of the existing beams, they'll weld what they call studs, shear studs, that make the beam and the concrete act together as one composite piece. And that gives you more strength to your beam section. And they've got to weld them on the existing beams. The new beams should have them already on. But he wanted to get those outside beams set, and then I think he starts working on some of his form work, so they've got, so that welder, when he welds those studs on, don't have to worry about falling. I mean, otherwise you gotta have your fall protection on and all that other stuff. But
Can I talk to you after?
sure.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's made, seconded, adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all ayes, motion carries.
See you guys.